detrimental as well. Unless the OD can really get a couple of key astrals before that Inkswell stun does come through, but it's going to be all around how they can play this laning stage, and then when they do get the night times available here for the Night Stalker.
Yeah, you mentioned before about the Nyx being like the natural counter to the OD. Not quite so much anymore with just the way that they've changed his ultimate, and actually like with it being based on the difference between your mana and the target's mana rather than it being the intelligence. So pairing a Nyx on your team is actually really good because, you know, you just enable a lot more of that burst potential if you know, when it gets to the later stages of the game with that mana burn, you just use it and it's an instant, you know, big differential in the damage that you're able to output. And very nice. Quickly spots out the ward there by smoking up. OD, one of the fastest heroes in the game, especially when you're under the guise of a smoker to seat. So that's some really obvious information. Yeah, there we go. So Mac just edges up forward and is like, well, we'll see what they opt to do. Maybe try and reveal something a little bit different. Say that, oh, I was here. It's not because there was a ward. I was just here somehow.
I swear, I didn't see that ward at all because of the help of our own ward. And this is also the change with the nighttime that we're really seeing off. Just the early smokes coming through, the teams just directly running towards the lanes to try and get some deep vision down. And yeah, they're trying to guess on where that ward could have been placed. As at the moment, you see also Yangon as well at top side. They placed a ward to try and block that small camp here.
I'm sure that they're going to try and rotate just to stand in the camp as well, not to reveal too much, so that when they actually don't have the time to walk over there, it's not completely obvious. So they'll get at least a few minutes out of it, you would think. But Boomy, he's already leveled up the 1 point in the Arcane Orb, and he's rushing that Meteor Hammer. So I'm keen to see how quickly Lun and young PH are both going to try and get aggressive onto this Night Stalker in particular. Doesn't have a lot of regen either, so it's a little bit scary for him.
Yeah, I think the level 2s are going to be very important here for Yangon down at this bottom side. Once they can get that extra ability up for the Grimstroke, even the Ricky as well, just the potential, the tricks of the trade, just a little bit of damage buff up here. So you see they try and instantly harass out as much as they can on the Ricky, force him use some regen. The nice thing about the hero that he's got very good base regen at the moment is, you know, top lane, this should be a bit of a brawling lane as well. Rubik, an incredibly strong laning support. You've got the Slaughter going up against the melee matchup.
Not even, you mentioned some good regen base on the Ricky, but it's also got good armor. He's also got good movement speed, so
everything.
It's, yeah, the trio of things that is going to combine together. So the key point is who's going to hit that level 2 first. You can see young PH is trying to make something about it, trying to harass up that OD, but one of those heroes that has even faster movement speed than the Ricky.
Yeah, it's been the hot talk right now of the OD's starting attributes, how he's got a stupid amount of movement speed and stupid amount of armor as well. Just some reason he's got 8 and 325. Who will know what the reason is why? And I guess that's one of the big factors on why we're seeing him played so much at the moment.
Even just his strength gain, 2.9 is pretty nuts for an int hero.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, here we go. Level 2s on everyone. But the lane is kind of pushed up. Ooh.
Nyx could be in trouble here. The Rubik doesn't have any more abilities. Looks like Slaughter is going to be able to find the crush, and the First Blood will come through. Rubik's the one to pick that up. So the level 2s up top is also pretty important as well for them. They get an extra stun here for the Slaughter and the nuke as well, and for the Rubik. So yeah, a lot of stuns up top and some good setup to be able to drag back. So they're going to be careful in their positioning.
Just see the harass is continuing to come out. Still hasn't put the point into the Astral Imprisonment, just prioritizing as much harass as possible, and they can afford to do this right now on Omega because of how deep the wave is pushed up into them, as well as the relative size of the creep waves. You never want to be diving into a full creep wave, or creep wave and a half.
Trying to keep close attention on this mid lane as well, see how Mac's faring versus the Void Spirit. It's pretty even at the moment, as to be expected. The Ember will have a slightly better time. Just that Flame Guard. A lot of magic damage to go against the Void Spirit. Yeah, they're going in now. Ricky turning his attention to Boomy, but doesn't really have the extra help with the damage already being utilized here for the Grimstroke abilities. Looks like they're just going to harass out the OD a little bit and try and reset.
And not even that, now you've got Bloodseeker who's, you know, walking around pretty fast. He's got a lot of extra heal that he's going to be able to use with that thirst. So I think he's having great. He's like, yeah, keep it up, guys. Keep rolling. I'm doing well. I wonder what he's going to itemize onto this Bloodseeker. You know, in the position 1 role, if it's just going to be, for example, the Rupture, he's getting that super early on, perhaps. Boomy's getting chased a little bit here, but without that Tricks of the Trade, they're not going to be able to take him down, and Lun actually might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Box able to find the Void, and Boomy finds the kill here. See how aggressive he's even playing against the Riki, just so annoying, and we're going to have some rotations come through for the Power Rune, so support's helping out. Let's see who's going to be able to get that lucky little regen from CML. Won't even get too much use out of it, but at least you take it away, and, well, Void Spirit's falling pretty low here. Ember's still going to slide available. Don't think that's going to be the damage required to bring down the Void.
Not without Rezo Pulse still available. And Rubik, he's able to sit mid for a little bit, just soak up some of that experience. So he's going to have a relatively happy time when he does return to the lane or contests those 5-minute runes. So not the worst thing for Void Spirit to be pushed back this far, but definitely doing a good job on Mac thus far.
So trying to see when
before, the rough laning stage that Night Stalkers do tend to have is at the top of the net worth charts. He does not care. He knows he has the OD backing him up, and just the constant harass is forcing young PH to perhaps buy a little bit more regen than he typically would.
Yeah, now it's about to be that nighttime, so I'm incredibly surprised at how well this bottom lane's actually gone for them. And once the nighttime hits, you know, we might see the lane at least get even more easier, and the Grimstroke's position is going to have to be pretty goddamn on point with an OD on a Night Stalker, and you just see how aggressive Box getting, just trying to chunk down the Riki. Always got to keep that factor in mind.
Why not? He's got the infused raindrops as well, so he's not worried all that much. Even Boomy, he's getting close to picking up that Ring of Health, and he's probably going to walk to the secret shop right now, pick it up. He's got the full stick charges, he's got the Essence Flux, so he's doing just fine.
Mac's got that level 6 now too as well, so maybe with the Power Rune rotation we could see him go to one of the side lanes here if it is a nice aggressive rune that he's able to pick up.
Tower is under attack.
I haven't really seen too many extra of these rotations coming through from the sports, really just around that 4-minute mark, and that's about it. Really trying to secure the laning stage, it seems, at the moment. And well, Radiant, with having such aggressive lanes, they've only been able to find 1 kill, unfortunately, to their name, so we'll see if this can ramp up a little bit. But we do see the Riki's going for the 3 Wraiths. So we saw yesterday Riki going 4 Wraith Bands, and you know, we were questioning whether this was a couple extra Wraith Bands just slowing down the Battle Fury timing, but
I think 3 is okay. You just want that little bit of extra armor when you're coming up against this this Night Stalker, who you know is going to try and get aggressive at this point of the game. But yeah, now I think he's more than happy to go into those treads and then Battle Fury straight after.
Denied.
See how they're able to play this. I mean, Tino, he's at a pretty good time at the moment as well. I mean, he's lowest out of all the cores, but at least he's been able to keep his life against a S.E.A and a Rubik lane, and he's got the level 6 too. So if they do dive incredibly deep, there can be a TP rotation exactly like I said. S.E.A ruptured up, Mac with the rotation, Pale sets up for the Blood Right connection. S.E.A will not be able to run anyway. He's just going to try and stand his ground and man fight. That's the least he can do. So Mac joining is able to find that kill at the top side. It does leave the Void Spirit. Going to try and shove this lane out and deny as many creeps as possible. Mac's even going to take a stack as well to his name. So, you know, a good start here for Omega.
And I can see what they're thinking now with the Bloodseeker pick in the last in the draft when you're coming up against a Riki as well as a Void Spirit. He's going into that Maelstrom, so I think he wants that Gleipnir as quickly as possible so that you're able to deal with a lot of these more elusive heroes. Perhaps force an earlier BKB as well than the Riki might like. It's always really good on these heroes that are just constantly spamming things out. The Blood Right, of course. Wanting the Rupture, just constantly roaming around to fight Bloodseeker, of course. Once you get your first couple of items, you can just be roaming around the map. You get a lot of your farm from kills, as opposed to just right-clicking creeps.
Do you see though, Radiant
Radiant are scanning.
The Rubik around mid. Void Spirit with the DD, so he's actually going to instantly jump on Boomy, who still has the Astral. Max going to be in the vicinity as well to try and protect the Outward Devourer. Now with the rotations coming out, the Void Spirit has already used both the ultimate charges, but it looks like Skill Lay's going to be able to snipe that one with the Fade Bolt, but he's going to have to sacrifice his life here. Carapace holding back the Void, still with his DD. You see the damage is getting dished out at the moment. Even the Night Stalker is going to try and join this fight. Max going to be able to claim the kill. He'll run back to box just in case there's any more aggression. Even Tino's showing up as well with the Rupture. Chucks it out. Void Spirit's got an ultimate charge available, but he's still going to get brought down. He cannot play around the Rupture there.
Just taking a little bit too long to get the kill, and you expended a full double damage rune. Sure, you got the kill, but I'm not sure if it's worth it when that's the price that you have to pay. Ricky, he's finished up his power tread, so he's going to become not really a threat. I think until that Battle Fury is available, it's not really anything that you're going to be too concerned about as long as you just avoid the Ricky's lane. It's just a matter of what else can you get accomplished in that time, because once he does hit those first couple of items, he is probably the biggest threat in the game.
We do also see Boomy's getting pretty close to the Meteor Hammer here, but he might be in trouble. Astral's on cooldown at the moment, but scouted out the Void Spirit, making that rotation down to the bot side. Meanwhile, Void being down here, you see that the Rubik's able to soak up some experience. So Rubik's already level 6 at the moment, so this will allow the Grimstroke to have the Tome. And we might see with these fresh level 6s getting picked up if Yangon can put a little bit of pressure on, because it's also about to be daytime too. Omega, they want to try and fight by the room. Top lane, we got Bok also, along with Mac contesting the bounty. Two heroes going up against 3 at the moment. It looks like the numbers advantage for Radiant won't pay off. Rubik still has the Dark Ascension's going to try and fly away, but Bok says, no, you can't run up the high gun. I got this unobstructed movement speed as well. Going to be able to chase you down. Void's up in a couple extra seconds here. Just needs that vision. He should be able to provide it thanks to the ultimate, and there we go. Bok finds double kill. Even though Ricky's going to try and show up here.
Half HP though. I don't know if he's in a position to try and fight this.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, he's just going to continue farming, but I suppose that's fine, you know, considering how the bot lane was going. He was getting harassed out a fair amount by Boomy. I think here, yeah, Bok's making the right decision, going towards the jungle, giving the easier farm to the OD. He's actually going to TP mid to try and help with this here.
Void Spirit. They're able to dodge the stun, but still, it might be in trouble thanks to the Rupture. Boomy's going to drop the ultimate. It's a nice slaughter. Now with the Solent, Rubik dropping the hammer. The damage required here. They got the Soulbind on top of the backline. Slaughter's going to be able to jump out of the Astral and continue chasing. Boomy will end up falling. A double Fade Bolt secures it there, man. Rubik's play steals the sanities. That Fade Bolt burst was just enough for Omega to lose 3 there. Really nice TP rotation. Do you see how the Bloodseeker is going to try and play versus the Void Spirit here? The Rupture is such a good way to deal with him, just because that Astral step, the range at the moment, even maxed out, is not enough to get out of the Rupture damage. So always has to be well aware of the positioning from Tino, and it just caught him out a little bit, but at least Yangon were able to punish the dive from Omega.
And yeah, that was about like 0.001 seconds left on the Soulbind. He just got the double Fade Bolt off. They're going to try and aim for Bok here. He doesn't have the Dark Ascension, so he might be in a little bit of trouble.
It's a very important kill, because Bok's going for actually, he had the Aghanims queued up, going back for the BKB. I was going to say, if you're going to Aghanims, this is an item that you really want to hit at a relatively fast timing, around like 17 minutes when you got still a little bit left of that night time. But going back for the BKB, not going to go as greedy as a build, it looks like.
Boomy here, he's got the Meteor Hammer finished up, so they're going to use it for this kill attempt up here onto the Ricky. Hits him up there. Will it be enough? It will.
I'm dead.
That's a good reveal.
OD, such a strong hero. Now we're going to see a battle around mid though. Bok after the respawn, he's got the ultimate. Telekinesis drags him away. Dire. They even have Mac showing up to the fight. The change is going to hold the Rubik in place. That's a double for Mac. They want more blood though. Boomy's going to hold them back. Lon chucks out the Soulbind, but it's still not really going to do anything. We're really seeing these ODs Meteor Hammer play off early. Now they even get the vision on top of the Void Spirit as well. It's going to try and attempt the TP out, but the chains has a cancel. Man, Omega really utilizing their ultimates and their fresh pickups with the Dark Ascension flying through. Tina with the Rupture, just great way controlling the Void. And Well, this is a reason why if you can get that Meteor Hammer at a good timing for the OD, you see that pick off on top of the Ricky top and paying off to get another kill mid as well.
It wasn't even like a super amazing time. That's the thing. He got it at 12 minutes because of all of the selfless plays that he was making to make sure that, you know, the Night Stalker has a good game so that he can make this Ricky's, you know, 15 to 20 minute life not so great. And despite that, you know, when he TP'd from that bottom lane to mid, I thought that maybe it was a little bit preemptive. It ended up losing them in the team fight as well because he was about 50 gold short of that Meteor Hammer. I thought maybe he might have tried to pick that up, then go for the big team fight, because we've seen how effective it is when this Meteor Hammer is available. It's just very easy to hit the Astral Meteor combo. Just use it when the timer's right on the H of that Banished, and you'll hit it every single time. He's being chased down though. They've got the vision from the Observer Ward. I don't think it's going to be enough though.
Nice little smoke maneuver coming out. They do still have the Rubik and the Grimstroke that are smoked up at the moment. So if they see CML, which they do underneath the Observer Ward, they can get over there and contest. Looks like with that pick off on Bok, they just want to try and put pressure on tower. You do see how difficult it is for them to take some objectives though without really having a natural tower taker in. But they're going to see Mac rapping on the backline. This should give them enough information to know that Omega want to try and defend the tier 1 tower. They got Boomy and CML doing an incredibly good job to hold that one. Now they're going to wrap through him the river. Ruptures out Starter. Unfortunately, will not be able to run away. The actual stolen from the Rubik's going to give him a little bit of space. Now Mac still will be able to try and clean up the kill with the Remnant, but he's actually going to have to use this more defensively running up to the northern side here. We see the Void Spirit dying to Tino. Now this is going to give the rest of Omega trying to wrap on through if they can get any more, maybe halting the aggression from Yangon. So it's a 1-for-1. They successfully defend that tier 1 tower mid, and now it's right before the bounty timing as well. And once again, Bok has got the ultimate back up, so it's going to force the rest of Radiant away.
Uses it right before the nighttime as well, so he was really hungry for that that cleanup onto the Slardar, but not going to be able to grab it. I suppose they'll take the consolation prize of the ancient stack though.
Yeah, it's a nice stack to claim.
It was a triple or a quad stack, I believe, so plenty of gold going their way. The Maelstrom really starting to pay off, and yeah, with all of that money saved, there's that Gleipnir. It's only about 600 gold away, so to be able to get it this early on is going to be a huge boon for Omega Esports.
Just further enabling even that setup for the Blood Riot, just making it so they can't play around with the mobility, which is so important for someone. Slardar maxed out with the Guardian Sprint. You got the Ricky slippery to catch, and you know, the Void as well. But Ricky's farm, he's not keeping up at the moment, and we worried how this game's looking. Did Yangon need to try and play this one a little bit more slower? But is it just that Omega won't give them the opportunity?
Pretty much. I mean, you've seen how freely they're using the Dark Ascension. Like 5 seconds until it's nighttime, and Bok's like, right, let's launch it. Let's try and pick up more because we can't let this Ricky come online. So many times in team fights as a Ricky, you end up killing people that you weren't even going for just because of the tricks of the trade.
Bro, Grimstroke just getting caught out over there. You see Radiant are trying to play around the Observe Ward, but it's a game that's looking to continue drawing in a net worth lead right now for Omega, and they got the setup once again on top of the Ricky. Boomy just on point here with the Astral Meteor combo. They're just going to be able to find another kill on young PH. 0-2 at the moment. Needs that perseverance and complete the Battle Fury, but unfortunately they're 6,000 gold behind, and it's not looking to get any better. And Bok will be going actually back for the Aghanims, and I highlighted around 17 minutes is a good timing here for the Ags, and you know, it's going to be around about that if you can get a couple of camps and get back to the secret shop.
They're online, baby. It's
oh
a
god.
factor. See, I'm the type of person that I'm like, look, you've got the Circlet and the Slippers, just finish the Wraith Band. I know it's like 200 gold that could probably be better spent on something else, but it frees up a slot, it gives you that little bit of extra armor, which is really effective against the Slardar. The attack speed as well, gonna be real nice. Oh, they've got out CML here as he's trying to D-ward. He'll at least get the Observer.
His life will be punished, so it looks like mid, they want another pick off. Void Spirit utilizing that Scepter, a great way to be able to deal with the Night Stalker. Now Bok, has he overstepped the mark? The Soulbind's out, hasn't latched on anyone at the moment. They've already lost 2 on Omega, but now with the Gleipnir, Void Spirit's caught out. He doesn't have the Scepter to be able to utilize defensively here, but the Sand is getting dropped. The Void Spirit will still fall to the Astral. Young PH can't find the opening, though. The Explore stun won't latch onto anyone. They're going to double back up with the Sans. And Bok being able to disengage throughout the river. There's no jump potential at the moment without the Slardar blink.
catch out. Yeah, you just see all of these spells being constantly spammed is what makes the Gleipnir so effective. That extra 20 intelligence just enables this kind of playstyle so much more. Come on, bro, finish the Wraith Band, do it for me. He's got so many items to replace before that, I think.
Yep. Chuck it in there, get some extra stats. You can even utilize that Iron Branch as well then. One extra attribute value we can have coming out from that, but this is continuing to look very grim here for Radiant. They're down 7,000 gold, and with a very good experience lead as well for the boys on Dire. Still, the one big issue that we're seeing is kind of the ways for them to take objectives. So yes, they're 7k up, but they've only been able to take 2 tier 1 towers, and you know, being able to claim Roshan as well will not be easy for Dire.
I think that's one of those things that the Night Stalker actually does start to become a factor if it does get towards the late game, because he turns into a serious right-clicking core as soon as he's got that Hunter in the Night attack speed if it gets to 25, but even just level 20, the 35 extra damage is going to be really handy.
Finally, the Riki looks like he's got this Battle Fury completed, so still Radiant are going to have to try and delay this. Hopefully, maybe we're going to have the daytime coming up in the next 35 seconds here, so Dire will always have the opportunity to punish some aggressiveness when the Dark Ascension's available, but Riki, this is an item where you want to continue trying to find that next item, and it looks like the Ags is the one.
Yeah, I think it would have been a very different story if the Riki got the Battle Fury and there was at least a triple stack of the Ancients waiting there for him, but it was just the single, so he didn't even get the maximum use out of it.
Is under attack.
They're happy to just keep this push up.
Just got a little bit of vision up top on the Nyx, so he's going to get punished.
Alright, that's nice to be able to pick up, but yeah, Boomy, he's even got the keen optics, so that extra range to be able to cast the Meteor Hammer from, always going to be super handy, and you can see he's maxed out the Astral Imprisonment as well, so he's going to be saving his teammates left, right, and center.
And what do you think the next item is going to be for the OD? Because yeah, he's already got that Meteor, the 8th lens. He's sitting very nicely right now.
I'd say the Ag Scepter or a Force Staff would be the next. Maybe even a Blink Dagger for the, I mean, the dream is getting an Arcane Blink, right? Where you can just quick channel the Meteor Hammer if you ever need it, but
yeah,
you're a support.
I guess the Blink's going to give you this nice defensive factor for to protect, like, you know, the Ember if they get one of the aggressive abilities on him, and Mac can't escape with the Remnant, but he's already got a BKB.
They don't have any real significant way of initiating. Sure, you're going to be able to catch out Bok here, but he's not the main target. He's already got his big item.
And Boomy's already able to come through with the Astral, so Bok keeps his life. Soulbind still up onto the backline now with the double telekinesis. Tino is getting beat down by the Slaughter. They find the crush and the bash. Tino in trouble. But where's the extra damage coming through at the moment from Radiant? The Riki hasn't been able to help out, so Tino keeps life now with the Astral Meteor Hammer combo. Slaughter is going to get stunned up. Riki's still trying to deal with the Bloodseeker. Will do so successfully, but now Mac pops the BKB, bashed up once, but he's going to be able to turn to find the Slaughter. He's got a Remnant into the disengage. The Magic Immunity will be able to protect him through that TP, but it looks like they'll get the sacrifice in Boomy instead. So 4 down from Omega, and Yangon losing a couple there.
Yeah, creating a lot more space for the Riki. Going to be really nice. Did he get any kills from that? Just the one onto the Bloodseeker. So, oh no, we got 2 actually. Killed Bok as well. So nice little team fight coming out for Yangon. Again, it has to be on skill lay here. I think he was completely the turnaround potential for that team fight. Sure, he dies once and he has to buy back for it, but stealing that Astral Imprisonment just completely broke up Omega Esports momentum.
Yeah, we've seen Skillay have a really solid game on the Rubik so far. It's getting amplified because of the Soulbind. The abilities just look even more impactful, but we've seen what he's been able to steal. The Astral, whenever you can get that, the Sanities has been great. The Impale is a super strong one as well, because you've got that extra range already with the 8th lens. You got the Keen Optic, that's going to get buffed up at 15 too. Might be in trouble though. See if they can scout him out. Bok not going to continue down to the southern side, so a little bit of breathing room here for Radiant.
Yeah, I mean, they'll take it. They'll take it with both hands. He's got the put up the Staff of Wizardry second. A little bit odd, but I suppose he's not going to be dropping any of these Wraith Bands anytime soon, so it doesn't really matter which order he buys the Axe components in. He's just going to hold on to all of them on his person. as he gets closer and closer to that Axe. And once that does happen, things change significantly. You know, if he'll probably be around that level 18 mark by that point, and he becomes a significant team fight threat, even though he's sitting around 2,000 gold behind his enemy position 1 in the Bloodseeker.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, this is about to be a pretty big timing here for Tino though, with the BKB getting completed. So his team fights are going to get a lot more easier. They at least do have this Soulbind, which is going to go through the magic immunity. So if Tino gets latched up with someone, then the control will be there, at least minimalizing the impact he can have with the protection of the BKB. But see Radiant just kind of playing a defense at the moment. They're well aware that still this next item for the Riki is so important, and they're not going to make too many aggressive movements across the map.
Yeah. I mean, the BKB is going to be nice, but like Soulbind goes through it, Corrosive Haze goes through it, Ricky's just going to be right-clicking you through it, so it's not like, you know, a big game changer for Smart Omega.
Do you think the items from the Riki is the game changer to bring them back in this one, or are they needing a little bit more?
I think it's totally fine. You know, you've got 2 heroes that are quite mobile. Slider still hasn't gone into that that Blink Dagger, so they're just relying entirely on Hor here for jumping in on that Void Spirit, and it's just about how well his team can back him up.
And it's going to be difficult for the Void Spirit, because if he's completely reliant on getting the jump, I guess you don't have to use the Yule Scepter to set up for the Aether Remnant, because you have that Ink Swell from the Grimstroke, but you don't have something like a BKB. He's going to go for the Aghanim, so just extra controls is going to be nice, and you know, a little bit extra damage as well. But
so he's got the Ags now on the Riki. They're making a smoke happen, so this could catch them off guard, but even now Yangon, they probably really want to finish this Ags on the Void Spirit as well. He's only about 500 short.
Max even got the Aghanims completed as well. They're going to be able to catch up. The Rubik in the mid lane too, along with the Grimstroke on top of the high ground here, so both supports will fall. That's a dieback as well. Well, the buyback death timer, I should say, for the Rubik. So maybe with them being down so long and popping the Dark Ascension, that little bit of extra damage, can it get there? Mac? No, it can't.
Bit surprised at how slow that Acceptor Remnant moved though.
Yeah, you saw how fast it was to jump on the high ground against the Grimstroke, and there it was a little bit slower.
Well, they're going to use it to take Roche. It's nice for Omega Esports. Losing 2 supports though for the reveal of that information. I don't think the Riki joined that team fight, so they don't actually know that he's got this Ag Scepter yet. That was enough for the Void Spirit to finish up his Ags. And yeah, I think they're going to be totally okay with it. It's going to be level 18 as well here on the Riki.
Simo. Just being the information required from Mega to be able to take that Roche. Well, there we go. So, yes, they got the 2 supports, but now you're going to get a big objective out of it with the extra life on Tino now.
Ooh. I don't know how I feel about this Ag Scepter on the Rubik. It just feels a little shaky to me. I suppose maybe if he's able to steal the Astra like he has been, it's going to be super impactful, just because that double usage to again break up these team fights. Ricky's so reliant on a lot of these short-ish cooldown abilities. And conversely, I feel like that BKB is going to be really impactful. You're always going to be able to chase down the OD. He's going to have to use his Astral defensively, so you're always knowing where he's going to be popping out. Sure, you've got the Bloodseeker who can still, with the Rupture, try and lock you down, but it hasn't really been the Slider that's been the target here, and well, they found him though.
He's going to be the target now, has to pop the BKB. He's taking an immense amount of damage now with the Rupture. He's going to try and TP out. Do they have the physical damage to go through? They do not. The Slider will make it out. Once again, we see Yangon. The entire team have not been standing on that high ground to protect their observer ward, so they're going to lose another observer on the high ground, and that's a 10-second BKB, which just was picked up for the Slider. At least the side lanes have been pushed in, top and bot, so they will have an opportunity. They might smoke knowing that the OD is not there, even though with the BKB on cooldown, but they just don't have the vision advantage on the high ground, which is the only issue. Let's see if they want to make a play happen, and they do. They're going to try and smoke up, but where's the angle for them?
They know. Even though through the smoke, I'm a little surprised they didn't hand it over to the Riki, for example, and get him to do the dewarding, because he was already revealed. But you can see Omega, they're booking it. They're making sure to get way out of here before the smoke connects onto them.
was a little bit too slow there from Yangon. They had an opportunity where the OD wasn't linked up. Dai went linked up too. Max
straight
actually
back
going to go
in.
jump in, dodge the crush. Now with the BKB, gets a double chain to Bok as well. Instantly on top of him. The Soulbind latches up the Night Stalker along with the Ember, but they've already lost 2. Now with the Void Spirit's going to get controlled as well. 3 down from Yangon, but they're not done just yet. Mac wants more blood. Straight up onto the high gun's going to be able to catch up. The Grimstroke, such a strong initiation we've seen. As soon as the Aghanim's picked up from Mac, it's just causing way too much chaos. And Yangon lose 4. They're going to lose a tier 2 tower, and probably their high ground will be under siege now.
They just haven't had a single team fight on Yangon with this Ricky. Like, it's all well and good to make space for him to get this Battle Fury Ags, but unless you're actually using it, it's not really useful for anything. He's got his level 20, but he doesn't have a TP. He's just got it delivered to him now, but that's going to be Elena Raxcon.
Mega continuing to look strong in this game 1 here. 14,000 net worth lead. I mean, they've still got the Aegis for another 2 minutes as well, so they don't have to be, you know, as defensive. They bottom lane shoved in, they can link up with that, take another tier 2 tower and continue putting pressure on the map here. And we're also going to have another 10-minute interval, so you're already seeing Mega trying to take that outpost. And Radiant, do they have a smoke maybe to contest, or are they completely out of smokes here?
Another thing where they might be getting a little bit unlucky here on Yangon's side is that their neutral item situation isn't fantastic. There's been the new tier of items available for the past 2.5 minutes, but they've just never had the space to properly farm it.
They've got an incredible ward at the moment. The Gleipnir once again now stuck in the blood right. Mac creating the chaos required. Void Spirit's gone to the back. It's a nice
Ricky's
double silence here. The Resonant Pulse as well. They're falling pretty low. They've got to be careful. The Bloodseeker Soulbind is up. Where's the damage coming through? Young PH, he hasn't jumped just yet. He doesn't feel comfortable at all with how this game is situated, and that just might be enough. A Mega find 4, and we just don't see the jump from the Ricky. And I mean, you've got a couple of the items, but you've got to get to a stage where you jump, otherwise this game is just going to it's getting blown out of proportion here, and it's looking grim now.
He tried it once onto the Ember Spirit when he was dived super deep, you know, with that first initiation, but he just pops his BKB, Remnants right out, and then he's having to wait for the second charge of the Tricks of the Trade. Being on the sidelines for 12 seconds against this kind of lineup, you're always going to have a rough time. And even then, when you do jump back in, Gleipnir is probably going to be available one more time.
You see, in a choke point like that, where you've got a Gleipnir, you know, Blood Right, or the AoE from the Ember, the AoE Void from Bok, like, it feels very awkward for Yangon at the moment. They did do a decent amount of damage once they survived that initiation, but the Ricky just wasn't there to help. And I mean, he's got a blink queued up. Is it an issue of where he can't catch the backline? Is that what's the Ricky's issue, do we feel like?
Yeah, I feel like there's that, but also it just feels like he doesn't want to be in team fights at all because he doesn't have an escape mechanism. Now he does. You know, you're going to be able to use Tricks of the Trade, and then if you're in a horrible position, just blink right out to safety. Okay. And finally, he's got a better neutral item as well. He's picked up the Elven Tunic, going to be a little bit handy against the right-click damage that's coming through. No MKBs finished up just yet on the Omega Esports side. There's that Blink Dagger immediately coming into effect.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to be a bit careful there. I'm trying to see if Dai got a gem. It looks like they don't at the moment, but it will. We've always, Night Stalker has been such an incredible gem carrier throughout the history of Dota. And well, they're posturing pretty aggressive here. They actually want to walk up the high ground because Bok with the Dark Ascension's going to jump on forward with the help of Max to counter off. They're on top of the Rubik here, and there's not much they can do right now from Radiant. 2 down inside the base. The buyback's going to come through, but Dire instantly, all 5 running head on fast. Max gonna get silenced up. He's gonna be careful because the BKB's up, but they're gonna miss out on Crush now with the backline. Ricky trying to deal with the Outward Devour, but he's gonna get chained up now with the Impale Stun. They're gonna be able to find Young PH, the first big fight where we see Ricky come into play, but it's not gonna be enough. He's down for 80, won't have a buyback. It's all up to the start of the moment, but once again, Booming, the Astral, doing an incredible job at being able to kite out these fights time and time again. Yangon, unfortunately, with 5 down. Oh, Grim makes it inside the base. Let's see if Mac wants to jump. Doesn't even need it. It's got the slide. And that just might be enough here. A Mega, very strong performance in this game 1.
Yeah, this is call it territory right now. No buybacks. I think maybe just seeing, are they going to go for the Ancient just yet? But I can't see why not.
Radiant's top
Even
barracks
just there at the
has
end,
fallen.
Void Spirit used the Astral Step to try and get away after, you know, a good little save, but he had Rupture on him, so he just ends up killing himself.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And that was the nice thing about the Bloodseeker getting picked up. Like you've got this really strong way to deal with the Void
Radiant's
Spirit. Is
middle tower
that
is under
range
attack.
just 1100, so just a little bit short from getting out of the damage threshold to escape the Rupture, and it's been a big factor as this game has continued. And what's looking like more than a guaranteed victory from Omega, what can Yangon learn from this game
Radiant's
one here?
bottom
Zanog?
tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
I mean, OD feels like it's necessary for banning. I feel like he was coming out of that laning stage a little bit too behind on that Ricky. He's very much a lane dominator just because of, you know, we talked about his level 1 stats, as well as the pairing that we mentioned in the pregame. Coming together with this Grimstroke, it never felt like they made an aggressive movement, or if they did, they didn't fully commit to it.
Yeah, and I think we'll see a little bit more respect coming through. And if Omega have first pick next game, I would not be surprised if the Upward Devourer gets picked up instantly. And well, there is at least a full set of racks available. It's not in the Mega Creep territory just yet, but the Ricky's probably going to have to be thinking of something like a Rapier. Let's see if they can get the jump. But still, Dire always be the ones to start the fight here, and it's making it difficult for Radiant to help out here. Instantly, Bosch going to try and jump on top of the Void Spirit. He's got a USF to try and disrupt the initiation, but it's not going to matter. Back into the ground, he'll end up falling. He's got a buyback available, but looks like the rest of Yangon just going to get slaughtered. The Slardar chase down. Mac is able to pop the BKB. Super defensive. They don't have a carry in the world right now. And Mega want to put him completely in the grave. They didn't call G just yet, so they're going to force it to come out with another team fight like that. Mega Esports gonna be able to take your game 1 here, and you know, with that being said, it's looking like it's gonna be a very nice series for them to continue on.
Yeah, it just feels like Young PH is playing a little bit too scared. He needs to play a little bit more around his team. Even just then, he used the tricks of the trade when he was in a completely safe position just to get back to the fountain half a second quicker. Whereas if he's able to use it to the people that are chasing down his Void Spirit, maybe he can help you out with the silence coming through from the Ag Scepter. I know it's, you know, a bit too little too late, but it's just that kind of mentality where, sure, you're the carry that's going to carry the game, but you're not the only person in the game.
Yeah, just those little things making it difficult here for Yangon, and we see just Omega, I mean, 35 minutes in, 40 kills to their name, and with a 37,000 net worth lead, they are looking incredibly strong, and that's a great game 1 victory from them. And you know, if they're able to come back in that second game and look as strong as what they did here, I think it's all going to come back down to the draft in this next game. Can they get, you know, the OD, the Nyx, can they get some of these heroes that are kind of the meta heroes, and you might have to get prioritized from Yangon unless they have that first pick.
Yeah, and congrats to the Omega Esports channel point predictors as well. We had 5 of them that time around. Make sure you are doing the predictions when they pop up towards the end of the draft as well. It's a good, nice, easy way to earn some channel points and enter into the channel point raffle, where I'll be giving away a bunch of stuff at the end of every week that we're casting, which is this week, next week, and week number 5. But